Okay, mute. Okay, mute.
I have a question before we continue. I'm Maria Ramirez's daughter. So if I'm going to help interpret what every word is being said in this conversation, I can't mute myself. I'm going to be speaking over you guys.
Are you together with Miss Ramirez,
No.
or are you in a different venue?
I am in a different address.
Where's the camera?
Do you think that you could instead phone her up and translate over the phone rather than on the Teams call?
I only have access to one phone. So if I go on the phone, I have to come off this.
Oh
Teams.
yeah, I understand.
Sorry, Chair. Can I just also say that Mr. Lake is actually there as the agent, as the licensing agent? You know, acting on Miss Ramirez's behalf also. Well, so he has rung up to say to me anyway that he is acting on her behalf.
Mr. Lake, are you able to interpret for Miss Ramirez? Mr. Lake, I think you're on mute.
Is in the role of interpreter, Viviana, daughter of Maria.
Sorry, if I may, sorry, Chair, through you. I think that's fine. Can I just confirm, Mr. Lake, will you be submitting the representation on the behalf of the license holder?
Yes, indeed, sure.
Okay. Okay. And yeah. So and then if translations are necessary, I think that's I assume can be done with the chair's permission. So the recording has started. I will now formally hand over to the chair, Councillor Anna Abella. Thank you.
Thank you, Clerk. So good evening, everyone. My name is Anna Abella, and I am a councillor for Haringey Ward, but I'm also the chair of this licensing subcommittee. I'm going to start with introductions, and first I'm going to ask my fellow councillors to introduce themselves. Councillor Da Costa.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Nick Da Costa, member for Highgate Ward.
Yes.
Thank you. Councillor Peacock.
Councillor Sheila Peacock, member for South Tottenham Ward and Vice Chair.
Thank you. Could I ask the legal officer to introduce himself?
Good evening. Yusra Al Greenberg, legal advisor to the subcommittee.
Thank you very much. Could I ask the licensing team leader to introduce herself, please?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dale Barrett, the licensing team leader.
Thank you. The clerk has introduced himself at the start. Could I ask the review applicant from the Noise and Nuisance team to introduce himself?
Hi, Chair. It's Craig Bowen from the Noise and Nuisance team for Haringey Council.
Thank you. Mr. Brown, would you also like to introduce yourself?
Good evening, Chair and everyone. Adam Brown. I manage the antisocial behaviour team as well as the noise nuisance and licensing enforcement team at Haringey Council.
Thank you. And could I ask the premises licence holder and her agent to introduce themselves?
Okay. License holder is
Maria
Ramirez. And the partner, Paddy, is the nearest person to her in the business, also a business associate, and he has undertaken to take the license course in order to be more useful. I am here to say to you that they have taken it very seriously, the issue of a review and preparing as
excuse me.
No.
At this stage, I just need your introduction. So just your name. Could you introduce yourself as well, Mr. Lake?
Yes, my name is Glenn Lake.
Thank you. And your role is? Your role in this meeting is?
Chair, I don't know if you can see the gentleman, but I can't see the one on the man with the hat. Could he sort of move over so I can see him when he's speaking?
Thank you, Councillor Peacock. Perhaps if you push back your laptop or your phone, we might be able to see all of you. Sorry, you were interrupted, Mr. Lake. What is your role in this committee?
Yes, I am acting as an interpreter most of the time in the day-to-day aspect of anything that occurs on the premises, to help them as much as I can to understand how to deal with their day-to-day issues, and more particularly, I was the person who obtained the license.
Thank you, Mr. Lake. So for everyone's awareness, this meeting is being recorded and it will be available for public viewing. Clerk, are there any apologies for absence?
No apologies for absence, Chair.
And is there any urgent business?
No urgent business.
Do the councillors in the meeting have any declarations of interest?
No.
No.
None. So I'm going to briefly summarise the procedure we're going to follow in today's meeting, which was emailed to all the participants by the clerk. For the purposes of any members of the public watching, we will first hear from the licensing officer. After that, the review applicant will present their case to the subcommittee. The subcommittee and the premises licence holder will have the opportunity to ask questions. Finally, the premises licence holder will present their representation, and the subcommittee and the review applicant will have the opportunity to ask questions. All parties will then have the opportunity to sum up, and then the meeting will conclude to allow the subcommittee to deliberate and reach a decision. The decision will be provided in writing within 5 working days of this meeting. A few housekeeping rules. If you wish to speak, please raise your virtual hand and direct all communication via the chair. We will take all papers as read unless there is anything you wish to draw our attention to. All speakers will be allocated 5 minutes to speak. When speaking, please be succinct and do not exceed the allocated time, unless you request an extension of time, which is at the discretion of the chair. Please do not share the addresses of any of the speakers, and in the event that there are several speakers for each party, please avoid repetition and perhaps consider having a single spokesperson to address all concerns. So we'll now move to the only item on the agenda, which is an application for a review of a premises license at MH Cafe. Ms. Barrett, please can you introduce your report?
Thank you, Chair. The panel has before them a review application for MH Cafe at 715 Seven Sisters Road, N15. The review application is brought by the Noise Responsible Authority. That's the Noise and Nuisance team of Haringey Council, and relates primarily to the objectives of the prevention of crime and disorder and the prevention of public nuisance not being upheld on the premises. The application contends that their premises has led to public nuisance from large numbers of patrons congregating outside on the pavement and fights taking place along with the noise nuisance. At section 1.3 of the report, you have there the timings that are on the current license, but there is also the appendix attached to the report with a copy of the premises license at appendix 2. The latest hours permitted on the premises, I believe, is on a Friday and a Saturday night. The alcohol availability is for on the premises only, and that alcohol has to be ancillary to a meal. The subcommittee, when considering this matter, have a number of options before them. Once they've heard from all parties, they may decide to modify the conditions of the license, or to exclude a license for activity from the scope of the license, or to remove the designated premises supervisor, or to suspend the license for a period not exceeding 3 months, or to revoke the license. Whichever option is taken, we ask that full reasons are provided. In terms of background, the premises was originally granted a license in October 2024. These are fairly small premises internally, but there is also a rear garden area, which I understand the public also have access to.
Thank you.
Sorry, can we ask that you
Excuse me, excuse me. Could you kindly go on mute?
There is also in the pack at appendix 3 the guidance provided from the Secretary of State. That's the section 182 guidance that is within the pack for the committee. A reminder that Section 17 of the Crime and Disorder Act can also be considered in this matter, and the Human Rights Act also. Chair. Chair, I think I can leave it there, and you can now hear from the noise officer who will set out his case as to why the review has been submitted. If
Thank
you
you,
have any
Ms.
questions
Barrett.
for me.
Thank you, Ms. Barrett. Can I just check, Councillor Da Costa, Councillor Peacock, do you have any questions for Ms. Barrett?
No.
No questions, thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Then we will turn to Mr. Bellringer. You have 5 minutes to tell us why you decided to call for this review.
Thank you, Chair. So we first became aware of the premise through an anonymous email to the council, to the licensing department, that a patron inside the property that was frequenting the premise was assaulted and made allegations that the premise was. So we, as a noise service and licensing enforcement, made various visits past 1 o'clock, which is the time that they should be closed, with a half-hour drink-up time. We've been on 5 occasions, which is in the pack, and pretty much every single time that we've attended, we have witnessed them staying open past 1 o'clock in the morning, with no food being offered when we've attended. No CCTV was able to be provided for us. Pretty much every time that we've gone in there, people are dancing. The front doors, the front shutters are always pulled down, so it appears that they're closed while they're not. They do have an SI officer every time that we have been, but they're there to control our entry. They put a latch on the inside, so we can't open the door from the outside when we pull the shutters up. Every time that we do go there, I've never seen the DPS. It's always the gentleman that's with the DPS, and ultimately we asked for the review, and we went again on the 21st of September at gone 1 o'clock in the morning, and they were still people in there drinking, dancing. Again, no food was being seen drinking. There's a half-hour drink-up time, which is not being adhered to. There's people in there with their tops off. They're asleep through alcohol consumption. Ultimately, I don't believe that the DPS and the owners of the business are capable of upholding the license and objectives, and that's why I've asked for it to be considered for the revocation of the license. They ultimately have food and drink, but ultimately it's a late night drinking spot that if we weren't to go and check, that they would still be staying open past 1 o'clock if they weren't being found and witnessed that they're breaching their license. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Bellringer. Councillor Peacock, Councillor Da Costa, do you have any questions for Mr. Bellringer?
I have none.
I have a couple, Chair, if that's in order.
Yes, go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Bellringer. Regarding the first incident on the 8th of, not the first incident, the incident on the 8th of June, page 10 of the bundle, you noted that the SIA officer tried to deny entry, and that the DPS's partner, who's on the call as well, Mr. Abdul Hadi Safai, apologised for staying open. The denial of entry for Haringey officers, is that behaviour consistent with a cooperative premises?
As in, have we had that before or since that first instance?
We expect premises in Haringey to be cooperative with licensing officers. So was the
100%.
Prevention of entry consistent for a cooperative venue or premises?
No.
Okay. You also requested that evening CCTV footage. Was any ever supplied?
No.
1 week later, on the 15th of June, you found the venue operating again beyond its hours, with about 30 to 40 people inside, also within the same pages of your report. The DPS claimed that this was a, quote, private party, end quote. Was attendance in place that evening?
No.
Would you agree that by this point, the 15th of June, the licence holder had been warned and yet continued to trade as if the premises were a late night bar?
In my opinion, yes.
On the 16th of August, your report records music very loud at street level, intoxicated patrons, some asleep, one urinating outside. Was this typical behaviour of a restaurant serving alcohol ancillary to a meal?
Not in my opinion.
The very next night, you found the shutters down, disco lights on, 25 people inside, and the rear garden in use after 2100 hours. What explanation did the DPS or her partner give to you on that occasion?
The DPS wasn't on site at the time, but ultimately, every time we go there, it's up there. They apologise, sorry, and they then get everyone out of the premise.
Okay. Was the use of a metal latch to block entry from the outside, did that raise any concern for you about public safety or deliberate concealment?
Absolutely, I did raise that with the DPS's business partner.
In your professional opinion, does the DPS have effective day-to-day control of this venue, or is it being operated by others on her behalf?
Like I said, I've never seen the DPS there in the instances that I put in my report. So yeah, I completely agree.
And my final question, Chair, is based on the evidence that you've submitted, do you believe this premises is capable of upholding the licensing objectives?
No, ultimately, you know, when we put the review process and initiated the review process, we found them again operating past their hours. So you'd think in that instance that when we've initiated that they would, you know, fall in line and start trying to prove that they can operate within their license, and it seems to me that they can't.
Okay, thank you, Chair. That's me concluded. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Da Costa. I just have a couple of questions to add to Councillor Da Costa's very comprehensive list of questions. So you mentioned that on one occasion when you visited the premises, there were 3 individuals who were visibly highly intoxicated and they struggled to leave the venue, and one of them caused a disturbance after leaving the venue. Are you reassured that this premises is ensuring that people do not drink to excess? Do you think this was a one-off, or do you think there is a repeated pattern in this premises of supplying alcohol to the point of intoxication to customers?
That instance that I went there was the worst that I've seen in that premise. But again, you know, there is vast amounts of alcohol being served. It's not with a meal, and ultimately they're breaching their license when they're there.
Mm-hmm. When you say vast amounts of alcohol, what do you have in mind specifically?
Everyone's drinking. It's not like people are in there just for the atmosphere, or they're there for the food's really nice. They're there to drink.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And one other question from me. What would you say was the age group of the patrons when you attended, and is there any risk that underage patrons were being served in this premises?
Not in my opinion. I would say they range from 25 to 55. So I have never seen someone that I would say that looks underage.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And do I understand correctly that at least on one of the occasions when you visited, patrons were not entering through the front entrance, they were entering through a separate entrance that would not be visible?
No, so as far as I'm aware, the front door is the only entrance. There is a condition on their license that the back area has to be ceased being used by 9 o'clock. Mm-hmm. On a number of the occasions that I've been there, and it's in the report that we have seen people in there smoking in the back area and congregating in that area.
Thank you. Councillor Peacock, do you have a question?
Yeah, can I just ask, who is this Abdul? Is he the person in charge of the place? Because his name appears time and time again, but nobody's actually spoken about him.
I believe that's the gentleman in the middle, Councillor Peacock.
I thought that was Mr. Lake.
No, Mr. Lake's to the left-hand side with the hat on.
Okay, sorry about that.
Thank you, Councillor Peacock. Can I check, Mr. Lake, Mr. Ramirez, do you have any questions for Mr. Bellringer? Do you have any questions, or would
He's
you
on
like us to
mute.
move on?
It's on mute.
You're on mute, so we can't hear you.
Viviana puede explicar lo que
Okay.
pasó. Eso es lo que. Is that possible?
Yes,
Could we
we can
allow
hear you.
Viviana to explain to
You will have
what
you'll
has
have
been
you'll have another time slot to explain, but for now I just want to know if you have questions for Mr. Bellringer.
Okay, thank you.
No questions?
So it doesn't become too long. Yeah.
Okay. So I understand you have no questions for Mr. Bellringer. In that case, we will turn to you, Mr. Lake. You have 5 minutes to present your position.
At this juncture, we understand that things have gone the wrong way, and there is an intention to undertake some kind of rehab in the meanwhile. Whether that could be on the option to present you, well, of course, yeah, kind of afterwards, but the idea was to offer a period of recovery during which time they become ready to take on the mantle of license holders, including the fact that Mr. Haddy, the partner, would be trained in the license. Now, the issue here is very simple. The license holder is a woman, and she is not inclined to be or not happy to be out too late, but she speaks Spanish, and the majority of the customers are Spanish speaking, of course. Hattie speaks English, but doesn't have the same ability to communicate with the older guys, and doesn't want to perhaps have an altercation with them if he can avoid it. So perhaps he is being lenient. He is of the opinion that given time, they can improve their approach to managing, but evidently the business is a livelihood matter, and they wouldn't like to lose the option to trade. That's where we are at this time. ¿Qué quiere decir algo? Sí, ¿qué quiere decir?
Mr. Greg, I met him several times. Sorry. I'll take just a minute or two to explain something. He visited me, but always we close one, but sometimes my wife, mom, like my mother-in-law was in the hospital. She is my wife. We are always here, and we are always together 24 hours. But last 2 months, her mom, 2.5, nearly 3 months, her mom was in the hospital, and she was going there and coming home in business. So that's why she couldn't, Mr. Greg wouldn't see her in one time. But we always have like focus that we don't allow underage, under 21. Most of the customer we have is to over 25 till 50, 55, but we never give them plenty. Like once we see the person is over, we never serve them any more alcohol, and we always have food on the table. But when is my unluck, or I don't know, Mr. Blake, have never seen food on the table. But you know, Spanish people, they have their like we do nighttime grill, mixed grills and stuff. So it goes together with the drink, beers and stuff. But they eat, and then we collect the the plates, and we wash in this. But whenever he comes, he said there is no basket. I have collected. I have collected the plates because I need to wash because 1 o'clock I need to be out. But I mean, we never use the back door for no one. Once there was a problem out in like a fight in the street, but nothing to do with us. It was from 4 house other side, and there was like stabbing. And the only time we used the back door was when the police was outside around 12:30, nearly 1. I went outside. I said to the police in charge, I said, I'm sorry, but I have customer outside, I mean inside. So now you have put the tape, so nobody crossed the line. The only thing I will do, he said, no, you can come out. But they said, I have like 15, 20 customer. That's the only maximum capacity which I can sit in my shop. I said, I'm gonna use the back door to go in. We have like emergency exit at the back end. That's the only time we have used. And even when I went outside the street, my car was like inside that thing. And I asked the gentleman, the policeman, and he came and he left up the rope for me. And I went outside, take my car, and he said, it's fine. That's the only time. But outside, sometime.
Could you start reaching your conclusion, sir?
If they say, they accuse me because sometimes fights outside. Let me explain you. Because sometimes you go outside Apex, this tower, the new tower they're done, you will see maybe 50, 60 people drinking opposite the 24-hour license. And they are the one who makes noise in troubles in fight. This is no our customer. Our customer comes, drink, eat, straight away goes. I send them in many cabs, in Ubers, sometimes even I 2, 3, 4, 5 together, and they goes to the bus stop, and no one stays in the area drinking and making misbehaviors, in noise and stuff like that. So that's my all.
Thank you. Thank you. Councillor Da Costa, Councillor Peacock, do you have any questions?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead, Sheila.
I've got quite a few actually. One was about CCTV, why it wasn't working and why the officers could not have access to it. And also why the shutters.
Shall we pause after this question
Okay.
and then I'll come back to you again, Sheila. So yes, why wasn't the CCTV working, please?
I have explained to Mr. Greg, he's there and he's listening to me. The day he came, that week, I broke my my phone and fell down, so the screen, I couldn't touch it. So that's why the only time I couldn't show him.
Are you saying then that it's now working perfectly? And so when officers come back in, they can have
working.
Yes. Right. Why was it there's people smoking inside your premises when that's not allowed?
Sorry, nobody is smoking inside. We have a back garden where we're sitting now. So that time we don't allow smokers, but when I was dealing with Mr. Greg, he's here and he's sitting, he's listening to me what I'm telling. One lady was smoking and he told me, I told the lady straight away, he was there. And I said, look, please put your cigarette off. No one is allowed to smoke. Smoking outside, go to the back. That's it.
Have you a designated smoking area outside?
Yes, behind the garden, we have a smoking place.
Okay. And then when the officers went there, the shutters were down. And when they lifted the shutters up, they still couldn't get in because the door was bolted from the inside. Was that to prevent officers going in to see what was happening?
No, madam. I'm sorry to say, he is there and he whenever he comes, the security, I have security and he's by the door always. and whenever he comes, he let them in. But we close the shutter around 12 because we don't want nobody comes in, because it's hard for us to say no, and we are closing soon, and then that's the only. I close the shutter, but there's no lock or something, and then if you pull it up, it is on, is no locked or something. It's just to prevent other people from other bars which they know us, and they comes and they know, no, we are not allowed. We are not allowing anyone coming to our place after 12 o'clock.
I'm also very concerned that you haven't had a license for a year yet, and yet you've breached the license so many times already, even after you were told there was going to be a review.
The license is there. She's my wife. She got, and I have also done by. I'm going to do the license as well. Mr. Greg is here. He's sitting next to me, Mr. Lake, and I have submitted all the things.
What I'm basically asking you is, if you knew the case was going to be under review, why did you still persist in breaking the rules? Why did you do that?
I never break enough. I'm sorry, whatever has happened, but from now on, the time is time, and that's it. No, even a minute will be about the schedule.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sheila. Councillor Da Costa, do you have any questions for the license holder?
I do have some questions for the license holder. So just to follow on one of the last question from Councillor Peacock, you said that you won't break the rules, but on the 16th of August, when you were visited by licensing officers, they said to you, you're getting an official notice and they're going to review the license, and yet the next day you were breaking the rules again. Yes, so that doesn't match with your previous answer.
The next day we were closed, the music was off, but I was moving the people out in his side. But, yes.
Well, no. So the next day, the 17th of August at 00:57 hours, which is past your drinking time, you had music on. This is when the shutters were pulled down. Yes, Sir, I'm not going to have a debate with you about this. I'm reading out from the statement. Let me finish my question and then you can counter, okay? So on page 10 of the bundle, it has information about this. At 00:57 hours, officers came with the shutters down, music on, and a metal latch being used to stop the door being opened from the outside. People were witnessed drinking at this point. This is the day after you were told by the licensing officers that there was a penalty notice issued and a licensing breach letter. So my question to you then is, why the next day, immediately after you were told you were in breach of a license, were you once again in breach of license?
Honestly, I've said, and I will say in my apologies, I'm very, very sorry. This was the last time it happened, and nothing will have changed. That's it.
Okay. You mentioned that Mr. Bellringer is obviously very unlucky that he never sees people eating meals with their drinks at your venue. Can I just get confirmation from you that on the 8th of June, the 15th of June, the 16th of August, and the 17th of August, which are 4 of the dates mentioned in the report from Mr. Bellringer, that the patrons who were drinking had eaten meals, you just cleared it away just as Mr. Bellringer arrived? Is that your argument?
Yes, we do mixed grill, and Bilim is very famous in the area and very popular in the area, and that's the main thing we serve with alcohol.
Okay. On the incident of the 8th of June, why did your security guard try and prevent Haringey officers from entering the premises?
I have no idea, but always the security is there, but I'm telling you now, no one is being prevented, or no one. They are most welcome anytime they want to come. I don't have any issue. I don't have any problem. They can come daytime, nighttime, in that I will stick to my time and that's it. That's my living and I understand it and that's it.
Well, they can't come if your SIA are preventing access or the bolt is on the door, meaning they can't open it. Okay, let's go back to the CCTV. You mentioned to Councillor Peacock that on the 17th of August your phone was broken, so you couldn't access CCTV. On the 8th of June, wait, no, I'm still finishing my question, sir. Still finishing my question, sir. On the 8th of June, you were requested to send CCTV footage in. That was not complied with. Can I ask why, please?
I never received any email or something or any letter. I'm really, yes. I never received any letter asking for that.
You did not receive a letter asking for CCTV. Is that the case?
It was me. I gave my name to Mr. Greg. He's listening. He's there. That I'm the person. My wife is here with me. But anything you let me know, my phone number, my email, anything, I deal with it.
Fine. Chair, I think that is it from you for questions for the moment.
Thank you, Councillor Da Costa.
For this one,
excuse me.
For this meeting, I didn't receive any email or something. Mr. Lake, the representative, he gave me the link and I didn't know about this one as well.
You didn't know about this meeting?
No, he knows. He's here with me. I'm not lying. Yes or no, Mr. Glenn?
Correct. Yeah, that's right.
Mr. Glenn can tell you who gave me the access.
Yeah, I am the person who explained to him that I had received something from Mr. Bellinger and that we had to deal with that. And we started taking remedial action straight away by going through the license requirements and me offering further training when this gentleman Hadi agreed to do the licensing course in preparation for the better regime.
Thank you. Ms. Barrett, did you want to come in on this point on why the meeting request went to Mr. Lake?
Thank you, Chair. So the license holder and DPS is Miss Ramirez. So correspondence went to Miss Ramirez. And I am confident and accepting of the fact that the notification of the hearing was delivered, because it was a couple of days after that was sent out that Mr. Lake then sent an email to the licensing inbox advising us that he was going to be advocating for Miss Ramirez on this matter going forward. Yeah. Mr. Lake actually spoke to me, I believe it was now the day before yesterday, in which he informed me that Miss Ramirez has been out of the country because her mother has been ill in Colombia, although the gentleman sitting next to her, if that's her partner, just told the panel that she was having to leave the premises earlier because she was going to see to her mother each day and so forth. So maybe they want to give some clarification around that. And Chair, I'm also a little bit concerned about the fact that they were locking the premises, you know, in terms of means of escape when they are having so many people there. And if there is a means of escape issue, so forth, you know, having the shutters down and doors locked while the public is on site is also breaching your fire safety regulations also.
Thank you,
I'm
Ms.
sorry,
Barrett.
but I need to correct an unfortunate misunderstanding. Now, the fact that this lady was away for 3 months is completely provable. I know that. And what you're saying is that when she is here, she obviously prefers to be close to him. But of course, there was a period of time when she was not. I know it for a fact because that's when I came and saw the notice on the door and explained that this is a serious issue. And she was out of the country.
But she's always here. She's here.
I think the reason Ms. Barrett is raising this point is that, as I understand it in your email, Mr. Lake, you said that the reason that Mr. Abdul Hadi Safai was running the premises was that Ms. Ramirez was out of the country with her mother. But earlier, Mr. Abdul Hadi Safai told us that she was in the country, but she was leaving the premises early to visit her mother in hospital in the UK. So we
No, I didn't
No?
say UK. She was with her mother in the hospital, but only one time, the last time I see Mr. Bellinger was in the premises. He said, "Where is your DPS?" My wife, I said, you can see she just left because she got one thing else. Let me explain, because I have my daughter as well. And there was family issue as well with her child and some, I'm sorry to say, sexual abuse, stuff like that. So I have to go myself. And last 1 year, it was 2 years, basically, was the hardest year of my life, that I have to travel from my house 1, 2 o'clock in every place, and dropping her to places every single night, to one place to another hotel, because Haringey Council and Islington Council was changing the position of her temporary accommodations. That was the only issue. 1 or 2 times my wife was not in the premises when she is here with me. That was the only issue. She was with her daughter because of some issues, but the rest, she's always with me. In Spanish, we called a conversation uñas y mugre, nails in dirt, is always together. Me and my wife was like nails in dirt. We are always together 24 hours, I'm sorry to say.
Except for when she had to be in Colombia.
Yeah.
Okay? That's the
Thank you.
difference.
Thank you for that clarification, Mr. Hadi Safai and
And
Mr.
I'm
Lake.
again saying, but it will never happen again. And my wife also wants to say,
I'm very, very sorry for everyone. And next I promise I'll be careful for everything, yeah?
Thank you, Ms. Ramirez. I will come to you shortly, Mr. Bellringer. I'm just going to ask my questions and then I'll turn to you to see if you have further questions. So first of all, it's clear that you've both had a very difficult year, and I'm very sorry to hear that there were various difficult family issues that you had to deal with over the past year. As I understand it, what you've told us this evening is that normally Ms. Ramirez runs this establishment, but because of various family commitments, there was a period of time where Mr. Abdul Hadi Safai was running the premises. And as I understand it, you've explained, Mr. Abdul Hadi Safai, that firstly, because you don't speak Spanish, which is the language that most of your patrons speak, but also because you were worried of getting involved in an altercation, you've been very lenient with the patrons in your establishment. And you are telling us this evening that in future things are going to change and these incidents will not happen again. So what I would like to know
will never
is,
happen. I give you my word, and this will be the last and final words. Amen.
So what I want to know, Mr. Abdul Hadi Safai, is what processes are you going to put in place to make sure that these things don't happen again? Because as I understand it, you still don't speak Spanish, so you still are not able to communicate with your patrons. I assume you are still concerned about an altercation starting in the premises. So what's going to be different
I speak Spanish
next time around? Not a little bit. Okay. But what are you going to do next time round? What processes are you going to put in place to make sure that you follow the rules?
Déjeme explain. ¿Qué va a hacer para mejorar la situación y para no pasar de horas y cosas, procesos? Bueno,
Sí, seguir.
Seguir
Claro.
el horario que
Sí.
es.
Puntual, sí,
Puntual.
rígidamente. Más fuerte. Sí, y con la seguridad también.
okay.
Sí.
Sí.
You want to say? Or...
Yes. We just had a few words to clarify that it is possible to stick to the hours rigidly and to make people understand that there's a new, there are new rules. Their rules are going to be enforced rigidly. Okay, because
more strictly.
Because the people who come here now, we
It's
know
like
who they are, and they have to cooperate. Okay, we don't want to, of course, drive them away to other people, but obviously.
And they always cooperate. Mr. Gregg have been here to my premise. I said out, they're out in 2 minutes. Never had any issue, never had any problem or things like that. He's the witness himself. But now Mr. Lake is here, my wife is here, and I'm here. We all commit 1 o'clock shutdown. That's it, and that's it.
I also want to go back to the three inebriated men that Mr. Bellringer saw on your premises on the 16th of August. So clearly these three men were served alcohol to the point of quite serious intoxication. How did this happen? How did it happen that they became so inebriated that they fell asleep in your establishment? One of them took off his shirt, the other urinated on the street.
No.
How did they get to this point?
Sorry, let me explain. They never get drunk, but one of them is bit far away family member, and he Ariel que quitó la camisa, ¿qué le digo?
Tenía la presión, es familiar.
Es familiar y
el fresco
okay.
acá.
It's far away family member. Is like the father.
The mental problem?
No.
Okay.
Sufre presión y diabetes.
I understand.
Y tenía calor y lo quitó la camisa, vino aquí, pero entró normal.
Es una persona muy decente.
He's a very decent guy, but he suffers like a little bit diabetes and pressure. High blood pressure. That day he had some issue, and that's why he came to the garden, took his shirt off, and when I told him to put your shirt on, and he, Mr. Gregg is there. He witnessed straight away. He put his shirt. I said, "You can't be like this." He was sitting behind a door. No one was there. I mean, just sitting like in a chair, relaxing. That's it. And waiting for me. So I closed. I took him in my own car to his house.
So there were three gentlemen. One of
So
them.
The other one, believe me, the old person, I bet, from where he comes from, Peckham. He comes, let me tell you, Friday, Saturday, he comes this place. I have a game in the garden. He plays tonight and he sit down, and then if he works the whole day. He's 65 years old. He's a pensioner, but he gets tired and then he sleep for 10 minutes, 20 minutes on the chair, and then he goes. As soon as he wakes up, he will go across the road, take his bus, and going to London Bridge, and then, or sometime he take an Uber, and that's it. He comes from Peckham, from near Olcan Road, far away, but he's a very, very decent person. He's like a father for me, a father figure, because he's a very decent person and he never give any headache or any problem. And I leave him just to relax for a while, and then I tell him, "Top, Don Oscar, Mr. Oscar, time to go." Straight away, take his bag and go out. Yeah, but I never let anyone vomiting or anything go all over and over. No.
No.
Yes. I don't.
Como café, come algo.
Even I give him black coffee, plus I pack him some food. Mr. Greg have seen me several times. He's there. I'm not telling lies. I gave him food and pack and put it in his bag. He is the last one going out 1 o'clock with me. Same time he's there. I'm not telling lies. He can see the short one.
Thank you, Mr. Hadi Safai. Mr. Bellringer, did you have any questions for the license holder?
Yes. So when Miss Ramirez isn't there, who's responsible for the sale of alcohol?
Is it?
Cuando tú no estás, ¿quién es responsable? ¿Tú le das permiso?
Sí,
Sí, tú lo autorizas.
sí, sí, yes.
Sí. Explíquelo. Dile. Pregunta.
Dígale usted.
Okay. Obviously, she being a woman and not happy to be out with her up and top, she authorizes Hattie, the husband, for the sale of alcohol.
Okay.
She has a license.
Yeah.
As we say, Hattie will now have his own license in due course.
So does.
But when I'm responsible when my wife is not there, because she gave me written permission, but when she is here, she's always in the premises.
Okay. So when she isn't there, so the occasions that I've been and the DPS hasn't been there, you're responsible for serving the alcohol. Do you hold a premise holder license?
Like he just said, he is taking the course now. He has been under verbal instruction from the DPS, who is authorized, having a personal license, authorized to authorize a person without a license, but that will now be changed by him having his own license. That's the intention.
Okay. So when I went on the 21st of September, when they were operating past their licensable hours, I asked Mr. Safari if he had a personal license, which he confirmed and said he didn't have his card with him at the time.
I have done the course. I have applied, but I didn't receive yet.
Okay, but I'll just refer you back to your license. So under the supply of alcohol, number 2, every supply of alcohol under the premise license must be made or authorized by a person who holds a personal license.
Which is the DPS.
But if she isn't there,
she doesn't have to be there to authorize it. She could authorize it and go.
Okay. I'm just double checking because Mr. Safari said that he had a personal license when I spoke to him on the 21st.
Okay, I understand.
Do I hecho course? I have done the course and I'm waiting for the license to arrive. I've applied for it. Que cuando usted no está.
No further questions, Chair.
No, I'm just explaining the course is not the license. Even if you have to still go to the steps of getting your and so forth. There's another step, but I just correct that for him.
Okay.
He hasn't got a license. That's a fact.
Okay.
Having a course is not the same as a license. It's just for the record. Okay.
Thank you.
Accept that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lake. So I will now ask the parties to sum up. Mr. Bellringer, in 1 to 2 minutes, could you sum up your position, please?
Yeah, so as the council have been there multiple times and witnessed multiple breaches of the licence on more than 5 occasions, it is, in my opinion, that they are unable to uphold the licensable objectives. And if they were to carry on, in my opinion, they would continue to breach their licence. And that's why I asked the committee to revoke their licence or take into consideration to revoke their licence to stop further breaches. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Bellringer. Could I ask the license holder to sum up their position in 1 to 2 minutes?
Su posición. ¿Cuál es tu postura ahora? Explíquelo.
Si quiere.
¿Qué quieres? Sí. ¿Tú quieres un descanso de 3 meses?
No.
No, yo sigo, no, yo quiero continuar.
Dicen.
Pero dígalo usted.
Dígame.
Quiero continuar. No, but I don't speak English very well. Sorry. I'm not speaking English very well. I understand it to be, but I need to continue. And I like to the rule exactly the for
Okay.
have everything the time.
Okay.
I
Let
can
me
explain.
explain. Okay.
Quiero llevar las reglas.
Okay.
Como
Háblame
son.
español.
Okay, quiero llevar las reglas, llevar el horario y hacer las cosas correctas. Si en algo he cometido un error, por favor me disculpen.
Okay. First of all, she said, I'm sorry. My apology. I want to give you written notice or anything you want that it will never happen again because this is my living and I want to keep and continue, but I promise and promise and promise that it will never, 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 never happen again, any misuse of the license or overtiming of the license. That's it. And she is sincere and I'm sincere, and that's the final thing.
Thank you very much. Is there anything you'd like to add to that, Mr. Lake?
But I say, let the records see that this declaration, promise has been made publicly, and plus the fact that the gentleman will have his own license very soon. And of course, I'm assisting them and learning myself how things can go wrong and how things can be misunderstood. There is an issue, obviously, with neighborhood property or premises selling 24 hours, and there is clearly, a risk of misunderstanding where they come from. Okay, there are things that can be done, and there will be done. From my point of view, I'm learning to learn and how to help people from the issues they have when they tell me their problems. It's nothing that I started out having knowledge of, but I learned from experience, and I think this is the best teacher. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lake. So before we bring this meeting to a close, I will just remind you that the committee will deliberate after this session and we will send a decision in writing within 5 working days of this meeting. So good evening, everyone. Thank you for your time. And I'll just remind the committee members to stay online so that we can deliberate on our decision. Thanks, everyone, and good evening.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes.